Regardless, we are finished picks and bans. On the Blues team, they have banned out LeBlanc, Jackson, Vigar. I'm assuming Vigar is a target ban. I don't know why you would ever ban it in solo queue. Then on the split side, they banned out Xin, Katarina, and Master Yi. I don't agree with the Katarina ban, but Xin and Master Yi are still stupid with Feral Flare changes. Have you played with Feral Flare at all?
I've seen it a few times, and I'm like, yeah, this just seems like the 80 jungler, like, wet dream.
Oh, it is such a wet dream. Basically, you just like farm a couple camps, and you don't even have to have the item for it to start getting stacks. So like, oh, I delayed my upgrade to the what is it even called, Lantern, and so like you upgrade and it's like, oh, I already have 20 stacks. You kill a couple more mob camps, and then all of a sudden you're gaining health on hit, magic damage on hit. Like literally, you can drain tank entire teams with Warwick.
Wow.
Yeah. It gets to a point where like you're healing 100 health on hit with his attack speed buff and his ult applies on hit effects, and it's just like, how is this considered a good idea? That being said, I kind of support it in like, okay, junglers dealing damage, blah blah blah. As much as I hate it as like a mid lane and support player, where I'm just like, no, junglers should do no damage. They should be a second support. I get it, and they did need to do something to make auto attacking or like carry junglers viable, but this just seems like a really bad way to do it.
I noticed that the jungler, like, it's very difficult for them to have, like, a variety of things. In jungle, it's always, like, a meta geared towards, like, some class. So, like, Season 2, we saw, like, the AB tank meta with, like, Nautilus, Amumu, like, that kind of thing. And then Season 3, we saw kind of, like, strong early game, falls off late game into a kind of tanky world champion, like Lee Sin and Elise. And I guess it's all just, like, carries.
Yeah, I hate carry junglers. I always have, and I freely admit it's probably just because I'm a mid player. Like, I'm not even really a mid player. I'm a support player now. But honestly, I'm just like, they should do no damage. They should just be like a free kill when they come and gank me. This is bullshit. And yeah, it makes me so sad. Regardless, I did forget to go over the actual picks here. So they have a mid Ahri, a jungle Kale, which is, I don't know, it's been a thing recently. Apparently in high elo, what they're doing is Feral Flare, Hurricane, Kale. And literally they just like stack that giant AoE, magic damage, life on hit, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, it's not that they're useful, but if you group up, all of a sudden your entire health pool's gone. Then bot lane, they have a Sivir Thresh, good damage lane. I think it's going to be able to deal with the Leona if they play it properly, but again, that is a skill matchup. And then they have a Renekton top, who he's still like, why would you pick anything but him, to be fair? They then have a mid Yasuo, a Jinx Leona bot lane, a Warwick jungle. Wait, where's Vayne go? I'm guessing that's Vayne top. Vayne top, not really a thing since the nerfs to her, because for a while she could very easily get essentially 3 auto attacks in one and proc her silver bolt. So there was no dueling her. There was no really countering her if you were a top lane melee character with no instant gap closers, because she would auto attack, immediately tumble, auto attack, and then use her condemn. Boom, you just landed 3 auto attacks and a silver bolt. So I don't know, it's still fine. It's not that it's not viable, it's just it's not what it used to be.
Fair enough. I didn't know that was a thing, but I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
I'm
Vayne top was a counter to melee laners for a while. Same thing with like Kennen, where you just like pick Kennen top and be like the absolute most annoying thing that could ever exist. It was never like quote unquote OP. It was just that was what made it work. And now that they've added internal cooldown to like how you can combo your skills together on her, you can't just do that abusive fringe case, crazy number of auto attacks in one split second. It's the same thing that Jace used to do, where, as you I'm sure knew, being in Dominion and everything, where like you could overlay 7 auto attacks using his W in the correct order, and it was just broken.
Yeah, that's kind of dumb.
Yeah, Vayne used to be able to do a similar thing, overlapping her auto attack, condemns, and tumbles, because they would each apply and they all had separate cooldowns, so you could literally use one while the other one was still animating. And you could also auto attack again while they were being condemned. Yeah, it was just dumb. Regardless, apparently the bot lost moderator status. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna mod. Huh.
That's funny.
Yeah, I wrote a chat bot to like answer questions for me, and apparently I banned it a couple times. All right, he should be a moderator
Well,
now.
that's awkward.
Are you able to spectate off of me?
Yeah, Sam, right now. So a few things that I noticed right off the bat. If I remember correctly, a well-played Thresh will be able to beat Leona levels 1 to 5, but then a well-played Leona will just tear Thresh a new one, level 6 and onward.
Yes, you're 99% correct. Thresh is very good at countering Leona if played properly, but it is a skill matchup. If you don't position perfectly, if you don't use your skills properly, Leona's still going to be able to land those hard engage. I believe the best way to play Thresh into that matchup is you let Leona always, always, always make the first move. As soon as she tries to Zenith Blade, you flay away, then you follow up with as many auto attacks as you can, and then as Leona runs backwards, like to disengage the fight, you throw a hook and pull her back in. So you have to poke it.
Going, yeah. So a few things also. I'm not sure if they're going to send... Well, because of the Summoner spells, I'm guessing that Jinx is going to go bot lane.
Yes.
However, I know that Vayne, she scales into late game very strongly, and she can actually function really well against Sivir. Just because she can tumble away from Sivir's Boomerang Blade. So if they want to do a lane swap, or if they're having a little bit of difficulty in the early game, that is an option that they could consider.
It is an option, but they specifically picked the Vayne to counter Renekton.
Right. Okay, yeah, then they probably want to keep her there.
Yeah. I do agree, though, that Vayne can deal with Sivir if played properly, but I'm assuming you missed the double heal meta for like the week that it was active. Heal is kind of OP now, and they finally changed it so that you can't just stack them, but it now heals more than barrier, like it scales better. It removes healing debuffs, and it gives you and the person healed a speed buff.
So, like, if you were to use heal, if you had ignite on you, would it still heal for the full thing, or would it heal for half and then remove? Okay,
it would heal for half. So ignite and like grievous wounds still technically counters as heal, but as soon as the heal is used, the grievous wounds are removed as well.
Okay, because I remember hearing that Misfortune became really strong out of nowhere, and I figured it was just kind of because of the counter to heal.
Yes. Well, she got some minor buffs and reworks, and it really did help her, but she still has similar problems to what she had before, where it's just like all mixed damage. You can't really itemize for anything. I believe her ult now no longer scales with AD. It scales with AP, but deals physical damage, and her passive deals magic damage, but scales with physical damage. So like you can't itemize for any sort of penetration on her.
Huh.
Which is weird. I mean, looking at her model, you'd think she'd itemize for penetration really easily.
Well, at least a double penetration, I think, is what they're going for with that one.
It's true. It's true.
Well,
So yeah, we are loaded into the game now. I really haven't seen Kayle enough in jungle to really be able to comment on if it's a solid pick or not. I think it's fine. I haven't played it or seen it enough.
I just remember, where is it going with this? Oh yeah, a friend of mine saying, like, with the new Feral Flare, he even saw, like, an AD jungle Twisted Fate the other day in, like, a Platinum 2 game.
It's not surprising. Honestly, Feral Flare, when it was originally released, it has been nerfed now, but it's still strong. Honestly, Master Yi was, I believe, a 86% ban rate in, like, all elos. And there's another one. Tryndamere was having a lot of luck with it, and Xin was really strong. Basically, it was just like, if you abuse Feral Flare, you're now an OP jungler. That's all that mattered. And honestly, I'm not a good jungler. I played some Warwick, and I think I have, like, an 85% win rate with him now, because it was just like, I'm ignoring my team, I show up, I ult, I win game. Like, it was just so dumb. And now it takes more stacks to evolve, and it's like slightly more expensive. But the issue with it when it was released is that it was gold efficient before you ever evolved it or considered its passive. So it's like, well, why would you build anything but that? Even if you fall behind, even if you never evolve it or do anything with it, you're already gold efficient. It's already better than your other options.
So one thing I want to see right here, we see Vayne top lane, she actually ranked her Silver Bolts first. Personally, I think I prefer to rank her Tumble first, especially top lane against Renekton in case of an early jungle game.
That's actually a really good comment. You never ever take Silver Bolts first. I could understand it taking it at level 2 if you want, although versus Renekton I'd probably take E at level 2 and just leave Silver Bolts to level 3 or level 4. And honestly, that's just because Renekton's early kill potential, if he gets that little bit of fury, if he's able to jump onto you and land a stun, Vayne is so squishy. I mean, she has 4 potions, she can sort of pull her way back into it, but that's not a position you want to force yourself into.
Yeah. Probably just so that way it could be like, right at the start of the game, you hear the voice like, "Welcome to Summoner's Purge with Silver."
It's so accurate, yeah. It's like, as a support, I don't level up my skill until I'm actually in lane or doing an invade.
Same.
Like,
Well, especially because if you don't know if the invade's coming, you want to make sure, like, do you have the skill for the lane? Or do you have the skill to kind of, like, disengage and help you out with that level 1 fight?
yeah, there's so many options. I mean, a lot of characters, yeah, you're always going to take Q. Like, on Karma, yeah, you're going to want your Q at level 1 99% of the time. But what happens if they just barely catch you out with a hook? You need that shield for a movement speed, or you need the W for a binding. I mean, honestly... I did it on Thresh the other day. My AD carry was dumb, tried to solo invade their buffs. So I was like, oh shit. Hey, wait, I didn't level a skill yet. So I threw them a lantern, boom, I stopped them from feeding first blood. If I was a lower rated player, I probably would have just like auto-taken Flay or auto-taken Hook.
So a few things I'm noticing. This Yasuo's mechanics are actually really impressive. He's dancing circles around this Ahri. Like, she hasn't landed a single skill shot on him.
Yeah, I think Eritor's been in a few different workshops now and done quite well. Slight comment for Yasuo. It's not that it's going to really set him too far behind, but there is no knockups on their team for him to synergize with.
Mm-hmm. That's a bit of an issue, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if he gets really far ahead, obviously it's Yasuo. He's kind of crazy when played properly, but you kind of want that fallback of, oh, I fell behind, but wait, we have Malphite, or we have Thresh, or we have someone with a knockup.
We see the engage coming from Leona. Thresh was not able to disengage, but she did go a little bit too far, and she took a tower shot. She just barely missed the hook from Thresh, and had he landed that, she would have been in a bit of trouble there.
Mm-hmm. A little bit of concerning, though, both of Blue Team walked back into the Jinx traps. They weren't really trying for a fight, they just walked into it. And it didn't really cost them too much, but it's free damage on them. Purple Team could have maybe capitalized on it a little bit more with a few extra auto attacks.
Leona, that's too close to the tower to use the play.
So there we see the gank coming in top lane that we were worried about happening early, and Vayne goes down. So she's picking to win this lane, and just based on her playstyle, lack of map awareness, wards, whatever set that fight up, she's now not being able to have that influence. Now Kael's doing the exact same thing mid lane. Lens is slow, a lot of damage going down, and that's going to be another kill. So this Kael is having a phenomenal impact on the game really, really early. And Warwick, just based on the pick, you're not going to be ganking early unless they're literally underneath your tower. So, yeah, I like the influence that they're having, but Purple Team needs to keep in mind, we essentially don't have a jungler to level 6. We can't afford to push. We can't afford to be overextended or get caught out.
Oh no, Warwick just ran past Ward, so they all know that he's there.
So here we see, another really deep dive, but they might be able to get away with it. Nope. There we go.
Leona got the kill with the Ignite. Good job, Leona. That was well done.
That was very well done, but that was set up because Thresh played aggressively. He used his hook, he used his Flay. Boom, now you have nothing to stop Leona diving. Leona lands the dive, Jinx lands the follow-up, Ignite, burn, takes him down. Yeah, Warwick is way too caught out.
Level 1 to 5, what you want to do as Thresh against Leona is just, as you mentioned, play passively, wait for Leona to make a move, and play off of that. So as soon as you see your Zenith Blade, use your Flay to knock her away and just unload the damage onto her. And because you're Thresh, you can poke down the Jinx or the Leona, and you won't face much retribution for it.
Now, I didn't comment on it level 1. Both supports opted to start Ancient Coin. Personally, if you are doing a tank support, start with a Ruby Crystal. It gives you a faster Sightstone. Sightstone is the best quote-unquote gold generation item in the game because of the value it gives you. And if you're running a tank support, you may as well take Perseverance Masteries, which gives you bonus health restore based on your max health. So you're increasing your sustain, you're increasing your early, essentially bruiser potential by walking up in their face and zoning them. It's better. You're not going to lose out on much gold, maybe like 100 gold gen from it, if that. And the early Sightstone is just unparalleled in terms of lane safety. So Yasuo is level 6 now. He's going for the Avarice Blade build, Static Shiv Rush. So it's interesting, and we're going to see if he's going to be able to set up an early kill. There's a flask and a lot of potions coming out from Ahri, so she has no offensive items, no defensive items, just some sustain. So she's going to have a hard time in this lane landing any kill potential whatsoever. Raptor attacks top lane, getting taken very low. Has to blow his ult. Turning back around, I don't see him being able to do anything. Vayne now popping
That
her
was a
ult.
weird Vayne ult. Yeah, like if she's going to use her ultimate, she should have used it much earlier than that. Just like start off with the chase.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's a little bit late, and she didn't really get much out of it.
Well, because she was too far away, she couldn't immediately follow up with an auto attack. If I was her, as soon as Renekton used the ult, if I decided, okay, I want to fight now, I would have walked towards auto attack, alt, tumble towards auto attack, like just chase down with it. So now we see Kayle going back top lane. Renekton is very low. Yeah,
Really
with
slow
no
response
ult.
time from Vayne.
She needs to be
Vayne
warding.
should've- Yeah,
More ham coming out this bot lane.
like overall top lane, I'm seeing that they're really nervous. Like Renekton's just kind of going in really far, and then he's backing. We're seeing a turret dive right now. Sorry, bot lane. Beautiful ultimate from Jinx. She manages to get the double kill. That was a great pickup on Warwick right there. They managed to push them to the turret, and then the amount of burst damage in between Jinx and Leona was enough to pick up 2 kills down there.
Yeah, that was a fantastic job, but my concern is that Thresh did not immediately cancel his ult. I didn't see if he had Flay up at the exact moment, but if he did, he had a number of different ways to cancel the Warwick ult. Maybe been able to pull him back in, and they probably still would have died, but they might have been able to take 1 or 2 people with them. So that's just something to keep in the back of your mind. If you're versus a Warwick, you really, really want that disengage ready.
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked. Like Thresh, I don't think he's really using his character to the full potential that it has right now.
Mm-hmm. Right now, he's been literally the #1 support since his release over a year ago.
Oh no, this player isn't using Thresh to his full potential. I know that Thresh has like so much potential. He's way too strong.
I don't even know what they can do with him. They've tried everything. Oh, nerf his base stats, nerf his poke, nerf his scaling, nerf everything. And it's just like, yeah, but his kit is just so overloaded.
Yeah. So top lane, I just want to go on with this matchup. Renekton's getting super aggressive with Vayne, and I feel like Vayne's just way too nervous around him for like how much damage she's able to put out and how much disengage she has. Like she can trade really favorably with him, especially because she has the Vampire Scepter.
Mm-hmm. I apologize for not paying much attention to mid lane. We're seeing the exact same thing over and over again. Yasuo forcefully pushes, gets ganked, and dies. There's nothing really happening in the lane outside of that. No one really has kill potential on the other. And that may change soon, though, because Ahri does have some AP now. If she's able to get her DFG, another fight coming in bot from Leona. Really good combo. Holy crap. My concern, though...
So much damage on Sivir.
Yeah, that was a really, really well-played combo between the two of them. But then Leona just started dancing around being like, okay, take the kill, I'm waiting. When she could have been auto-attacking Thresh, getting him low enough that they might have been able to turn it into a double. Now she's slightly overextended. Ahri, not quite connecting with the...
doesn't hit the... Yeah, charm. And then she ults? What?
She ulted before.
Oh,
So
okay,
she
that makes
ulted
sense.
into the wall through her charm. Charm didn't connect, so she still had the other 2 charges.
Right, so right now, Kayle, you need to be very
Oh.
careful diving to Leona, unless she does that, but...
Yeah,
you're
Leona
still
went way
taking a
too
lot of
ham.
damage.
Way too ham. Oh no, Thresh. No, Thresh.
Oh no. So we saw Ahri, she was thinking of coming back in, but I think she noticed that Yasuo was coming back down from the mid lane, so she wasn't really able to help out, unfortunately.
That makes me
Top
so
lane,
sad.
it looks like Vayne got ganked by oh no, she got help from Warwick.
Yes.
Got taken really low by Renekton, but thankfully she was able to pick up the kill. And Warwick was able to collect some lane tax.
Oh, I love taxing people. Anytime I'm forced to play jungle, I'm just like, no, every buff is mine, every lane farm is mine, every kill is mine, I don't care. Which is kind of funny,
Like
because that...
teamwork.
Teamwork,
There's
I am
no
the
I
team.
in team, but there is an ME.
Exactly.
Yeah, like, I just wish this Yasuo would just ward his mid lane after he's gotten ganked so many times by Kayle, and they've been successful ganks too. Because his mechanics are so good, he just needs to stop dying to her.
Yeah, and here's Kayle yet again. He does block the slow. He blocks the slow, and is able to get away this time. So that is very nice, but he should not be in that position in the first place. A lot of people ask about, like, what do I do when ally does this, or I've done this, or enemy has gotten so far ahead? And the answer is always, don't get into that position in the first place. The fact that the enemy let's say Ari. The fact that the enemy Ari now has a kill and an assist, well, you need to counter it before it happens, not after it happens. Yes, you can respond to it. You can ask yourself, okay, can we roam? Can we take objectives? Can we split push? There's all sorts of options to get back into a game, but ideally, you don't want to put yourself in that position in the first place. So this bot tower is going to go down. Thresh staying. Don't agree with that.
Like especially with Jinx's passive, he should have been a lot more careful. Thankfully, Leona missed her Zenith blade, so he didn't get caught out, but that was a really dangerous position for him to be in.
So we're about 12.5 minutes in. Warwick is obviously over level 6 now, but his jungle stacks, he's only at 15 Feral Flare stacks. I believe it's 30 or 35 now. Yeah, 30. So I would suggest that he gets some counter jungling done. He does a clear or two every time, and then just gank whenever your ult comes up. Literally, it doesn't even matter if you get a kill. Boom, use alt clear jungle, use alt clear jungle over and over again. He needs to get that evolved so that he reaches his full potential.
Spot lane, they put a war in the bush, same thing with Warwick, so they know that he's there and he's kind of helping out. But Warwick's doing a really good job. Like level 1 to 5, Kayle had more of a jungle presence because she had she has better ganking potential. But ever since hitting level 6, Warwick has really been helping out his team. He's been having a huge presence, and he's just been really oppressive to the enemy bot lane.
So I'm going to take another peek at what Vayne is doing here, and we're seeing the same thing. She is not harassing, she's not zoning, she's just pushing the wave. If you're picking a ranged champion to counter Renekton or other melee top laners, you need to be focusing on winning lane and shutting him down. She's not doing that at the moment. She's just hitting CS. Another gank onto Yasuo.
Ari, though, she keeps missing her charms on Yasuo. She needs to start hitting those. Kind of an awkward flash there, but...
Yeah, these charms are a little off.
There we go.
Alright, so Warwick should take this dragon immediately. I'm not sure what he's doing trying to get into their jungle. I don't know. Maybe he'll be able to steal away the red. Nope.
Like, he sees that Kale's there, so I guess he's gonna try and pick up a kill on her. He should have saved his Q, because he should have known that, like, as soon as he jumps onto Kayle, Kale's in danger, she's going to ult herself immediately, in which case, just wait out those few seconds, then use your Q on her. Unfortunately, what ends up happening is Sivir and Thresh join him and are able to kind of make him back off.
Good
but
bait,
in this
though.
bush, it's not warded, so Leona's able to engage on Thresh. They pick up a really easy kill on him.
Again, I want to see them turning these objectives and free kills into dragons and towers.
That Jinx ult almost got Kayle.
And it was very
Warwick
close.
waited with his Q and gotten that Q damage onto her from the ultimate, Jinx's ult might have been able to pick up the kill. So I'm happy to see now they are getting that dragon. They probably could have gotten it earlier, as you mentioned before, but I'm glad that they have it now.
Yeah, anytime you get a kill, anytime you send someone back, or you see someone, let's say Kayle is top, or like Kayle and a bunch of other people are top, you want to use that pressure. Take bot tower, take dragon, get their jungle warded. You need to set up for further advantages based on how the enemy team is positioning and how they're cycling between lanes.
Something I'd like to see now. So top lane, we just saw Vayne got a kill on Renekton because he played a little bit too aggressively. He tried to dive onto her. So right now she's sitting on about 2,000 gold, so she should go back when she can.
And she is going for the Blade of the Ruin King Berserker's Greaves Rush, which is exactly what you do top lane. Renekton teleporting top. There was no one in lane. He could have teleported to tower and saved his cooldowns, or he could have just walked up there.
Mid lane, we see another gank coming down from Kayle. Like, Kayle and Ahri have great synergy with each other. Anytime Kayle comes down, like, there's a lot of pressure. However, Leona comes in here. She uses her ultimate. Kayle's getting taken down extremely low, but she ults herself to avoid any further damage. We see Ahri. She's getting focused right now by Yasuo and Jinx, but she also manages to get... Leona tries to get the Zenith Blade. She connects, and now Yasuo gets the kill. Great supporting from Leona, letting her mid laner take the kill. Yasuo also win well, but he's extending a little bit too far. He manages to miss the follow-up play, though, from Thresh. And Leona, she doesn't know that she's sitting in a ward, so she has to be careful.
Kayle, honestly, though, he has no mana. I would not suggest doing that fight. Oh, no, she just wants to clear a jungle. Good. There's nothing more depressing than being like, haha, I caught you out. Oh, wait, I have no mana. So I want to take a peek at the Renekton's item build. I actually really, really like it. He did the Doran Shield start. He is versus an auto-attack harassing ranged champion. He then picked up the Tiamat so that he can cancel out his stun as fast as possible. And then he has the Warden's Mail to make sure that he's not going to get chased too hard. This is the sort of poke and harass that we would expect to see from Vayne. But if I were her, I would be freezing the wave so that you can, like at this point, you've just pushed him into tower, he gets free farm. Great
well,
ult coming in.
We see him ulting in. Leona, she also manages to connect with her Zenith Blade on the immobilized Thresh. They managed to pick up the kill really easily. We see Thresh's box go down, but nothing really comes of it.
Ahri is very caught out here.
Could be a tower. But yeah, Ahri is really caught out right now by Leona. Oh, but the Zenith Blade misses. But the ult connects, manages to get the 80% slow onto her. She's running under tower, trying to get away, and it looks like the purple team's going to back off. Or not, they're going to keep chasing.
The only answer is manliness. Are you as excited as I am for Braum? Oh.
For Braum? Oh, yes.
Oh my god.
Great pickup from Ahri.
That was beautifully executed.
Team Purple, they should have been... Oh my goodness. They should have been more careful. This Ahri, she just keeps going. There we go. What I love about the Ahri was she just didn't give up. Like, even though she was being chased, she just kept going, and she managed to pick up a kill from it. And she kept going even longer, so Yasuo didn't get the assist.
It was very well played. I'm surprised it worked, but great job.
I think that's just a bit of an issue of Team Purple leaving Yasuo to his own devices. We see another pickup on Thresh, who's overextended, Leona. She's just doing a great job of locking down targets and giving kills to her carries.
Sivir is very low on mana. They're not actually pushing in the wave yet from blue team. So she does have time to go back if she really needed to. It's a little late now, though. Yeah, like she has 0 mana. She's going to have some issues clearing if they were to try and dive her. At this point, if I were her, I'd be trying to freeze at this tower, farm as best I can, and scale up a little bit more. Jinx obviously does outscale, but on Sivir, she needs to get her Bloodthirster. She needs to get probably like a Last Whisper, some attack speed. She needs to get the core item that's really going to spike her into a late game split push and dueling character.
Yasuo, we see Ahri. She tries to engage with Yasuo. He manages to connect. He has the Ignite onto her, but she uses her ult. She manages to dodge so many of his spells, but unfortunately he had Flash and was able to finish her off with one last auto attack. That was an impressive duel. Like, I wouldn't expect like these kind of mechanics in a workshop. I'm shocked at how like on point they've been.
Yeah, a lot of solo queue I find boils down to not so much mechanics. It's more about decision making. It's the I'm ahead, I'm going to keep pushing. I'm ahead, I'm going to do this. Or I'm behind and I'm going to keep fighting. And honestly, what I would really like to see a lot of these teams doing is working on their communication and decision making over just raw mechanics.
I know, well, it's true. Like you, for example. I don't think I've ever seen you hit a skill shot, but you're plat level.
I hate you so much.
So you see, Leona and Kale, they're going at it right now. Kale doesn't really know where Leona's team is, so even though she's trying to hack down Leona, she does get caught out by Warwick. Leona, she's still living quite a bit longer because she's tanky, but Renekton comes in, manages to pick up the kill onto her. Well, Ahri does rather, manages to pick up the kill. Looks like Team Purple's backing off now.
And I will have you know I'm at a diamond level, not a platinum level, you asshole. My new account is currently Platinum 1 at 96 LP. I'm already at Diamond 3 MMR.
Wow.
Okay, so Dragon is up right now. Purple team has the timer. They're going to go ahead and take that right away. Blue team is not able to respond to that, so that's going to be yet another advantage for them. They are up about 7-ish thousand gold. Wait, what am I saying? It's an 8,000 gold advantage. Math is hard,
No.
okay? Math and
It's
skill
okay.
shots, apparently.
But yeah, Team Purple, they're doing a really good job. Like, mid game, they scaled into late game really well. They're holding on to their advantage, and late game they should have this. They have the Vayne, they have Warwick, whose late game scaling is pretty decent. Jinx as well, and Yasuo. Like they're pretty
Honestly,
much set. As long as they don't get caught out or throw, they should have this game.
oh, they definitely should. Honestly, though, I find it hilarious to say, but on purple team at the moment, I would say that Vayne is the least of their scaling.
Yeah, I know. Like, of everyone on that team, Vayne's probably the least threatening thing that I'm looking at right now with how this game has been going.
Yeah, and I find that in solo queue that, honestly, I find Vayne not worth picking ever. Like, her scaling isn't even that good anymore.
See, Ari, she actually got caught out by Leona. She did a good job there of dodging Leona's skill shot. Like, again, her mechanics are really impressive. She just needs to work on her decision making, like with her item builds, and just kind of making sure she's where she needs to be. Yeah, so he goes in onto Kale, but she ults herself to prevent any more damage. Vayne coming down, putting a lot of damage down onto Ari. Ari gets knocked up by Yasuo.
Very
And
nice turnaround.
Renekton also goes down.
That was a very nice turnaround, and it's also worth noting that Vayne had just picked up the red buff, so as soon as she joined that fight, there was no running. You don't run from a Vayne with red buff, so they were kind of forced to fight at that point. Warwick's already there collapsing, Yasuo's getting extra knockups. Honestly, at that point, the fight's over.
Yeah, I agree with you with Vale in a solo queue setting. She's not really worth picking up, just because she's an extremely short-ranged carry, which means that she's in a lot of range of some potentially dangerous spells. So if, say, like, the enemy mid Lissandra gets super fed, it's a targeted stun that you're going to eat to your face that you can't do anything about.
My reasoning, though, is that junglers are carries now. Literally,
That
any
too,
jungler
yeah.
that's picked right now will one-shot Vayne.
Oh, Thresh just dedicating too much, trying to pick up the Jinx. You just wasn't able to, and you got condemned by Vayne.
Leona going in behind. They do have 280 carries here, although Jinx is very, very low. I don't think they want this. Oh, no, Leona wants it.
I think Vayne could have stuck around and she could have easily picked up a kill there.
Yeah, if they were
And
on the
then
same
Jinx could have
page.
just poked, yeah.
If they were on the same page, Jinx can poke with her passive, or not her passive, her W, and her long-range rockets. She also still had heal and flash, so it's not as though she was going to be instantly popped, assuming she played properly. Vayne was full health with the red buff, and Leona was there. So I was fine with him doing the fight, but as soon as one of your allies splits off, you need to be aware of that and say, okay, I can't do this fight anymore.
Oh, Vayne getting hit by the charm, but she does manage to get away, thankfully, because they had the movement speed was from Talisman of Ascension. That was a good charm from Ari. Like, okay, I'll say one thing. Her mechanics are good, she just needs to work on her charm. She needs to make sure that thing connects when she needs it.
And since the mini rework, the only kill potential Ari has is if she's already landed a charm.
Yeah, I thought that was just such a shame when they did that.
Yeah, I agree that it sort of limits a lot of her playstyle, but looking at how she was being used, it's an understandable
That's
change.
true, yeah.
Because literally, at the time, supports did not get items. They were ward bots. So basically, you would pick Ari, you would get DFG, you would go bot lane, you would DFG, W, and alt. You wouldn't have to land a single skill shot, and you'd 100-0 their support.
Yeah, I remember, like, that was something in Dominion, like, where we'd mock this, like, one high elo player for the fact that he would just miss all of his spells. He would just hit W and R, and he'd still kill everything anyways.
Yep, and that's exactly what was being done in tournaments, too.
So Ari, something she has to be careful of is if the wind well is there, it's going to knock down her Foxfire charges, so she should try and activate it after she passes through the wind wall, rather than while she's in the middle of it.
They could have actually collapsed onto either side of the purple team there.
Kel,
Instead, they
she's
delayed.
way too caught around. Yes, her ult is saving her. We see the ultimate coming down from Thresh, but she gets taken down really low. She gets ulted by Yasuo. Condemn also lands. Ari just drops, leaving only Sivir right now, who also drops.
That knockup from Yasuo made me laugh inappropriately. Warwick, in the meantime, is soloing Baron. He can do that at around 18-20 minutes into the game now. And that's why junglers are stupid at the moment. Well, no, when it was first done, Warwick is able to solo Baron at 15 minutes. Yi was able to solo it at about 18 minutes.
He's doing really well, but he just got taken slow by Baron. He needs to be a little bit careful. There we go.
Oh yeah, he needs to be dodging the Baron's slime, essentially. If you stand still, Baron will kill you. If you circle around it, you'll do it so easily. Like, he's standing in the acid rain there.
Yeah. No, I see. He's taking so much damage. Oof. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're not going to get this. All he needs to do there is circle around the Baron, and he gets it 100% free.
I feel like they also could have been a little bit more on the same page there with just like getting Jinx or even Yasuo to help them out. They would have been completely fine.
Mm, like I see what you're saying there, but honestly, that's the most basic of mechanics. Don't stand in the goo.
Yeah, that's true. So it's like if you don't have those mechanics, get another person there. If you do, then like don't die.
Very nice Jinx ult.
So
That should
they
probably
know that
cancel
Team
out the
Blue is
Baron.
there, but
Oh,
only Jinx is there right now to try and stop them.
Jinx
And
went
she
way
does
too
get caught out
close.
by Renekton and Ahri.
Unfortunately, she failed her flash. She already dodged the Ari charm, but she was way, way too close. There was no reason for her to be there. She already landed the ult across Baron. She landed a W, I believe, and she at that point just wait for your team. You can't go alone.
That was a great win well by Yasuo. Leona, that was so close. She almost managed to get the engage on her there, and that probably would have won them the team fight. We see Sivir. She pops her ultimate to try and get away from them, but the Leona ultimate comes down, manages to catch Sivir. Warwick also ults onto Sivir, but everyone else so far is getting away. They keep chasing. Warwick's Blood Sin is active, so they know where they are. We see a few flashes. The Zenith Blade lands onto Kale, and Kale manages to drop. Yasuo ultimate connects with both Thresh and Ahri, so he manages to get the knockup. Renekton also dropping super low. It looks like only Ahri is going to get away from that one.
That was a very beautiful follow-up from Olive Purple team. They should be able to turn that into 2 towers, and then at that point they could heal and rush Baron if they want, or they can just try and push. There's about 20-second respawn on the core members of Blue team. So honestly, it's personal preference at that point. Looks like instead of taking Inhibitor first, they are going to go right to Baron.
Honestly, they had so many people down, they could have just gotten Inhibitor off of that.
They could have done
And
Inhibitor,
then,
healed,
yeah.
and then rushed Baron, because Blue team can't fight them as 5. So you place wards around Baron, and, well, they can't stop you from doing it.
So, I mean, it's good that they got Baron, but yeah, I feel like it would have helped them close out the game more easily had they gotten the Inhibitor. And now Vayne and Leona, they have to be really careful because some of their teammates have gone back and aren't there with them, and they're trying to pick a fight. But all of Team Blue right now is back up. They're full health, even though they're weaker and like 15,000 gold behind. They can turn around to 5v2 or a 5v3. Right now they're going back on where they have, but Ari lets them know with the auto attack. Oh no, they could have gotten something from that.
These wind walls have been very, very good at blocking out any important skill shots.
Mm-hmm.
So Warwick is in range. He could ult anyone he sees fit, but they don't seem to want the fight.
Something I want to point out is that Team Blue is doing a really good job of warding their own jungle. I think part of that's also just because Team Purple isn't really... They only have one trinket to clear wards.
That's
So
actually
have they been
surprising.
able to take advantage of the ward presence that they have and like seeing people go back on ward?
Actually, yeah,
Maybe
now
a
that
good
you mentioned
spot.
trinkets, Thresh never did swap to Sweeping Lens. As soon as you get your Sightstone, which should be your first item as a support, you need to swap out for Sweeping Lens. It is mandatory. You need it. Same with junglers. Once you're usually level 8 to 12, somewhere in that range, you're going to be swapping out your Warding Totem for a Sweeping Lens. Same usually goes for mid lane. It depends on the mid lane you're playing, but if you're playing an assassin like a Yasuo or Ahri is generally played like, you need to make sure you're not standing on a ward. So generally speaking, you want 3 Sweeping Lenses per team.
Oh, great pick out by Arya. She saw Jinx. She was way out. She manages to catch her with the charm and ult her down. But then Sivir, she used her ultimate. There wasn't really anything else for them to follow up with. Kale, she gets caught out by Warwick and Vayne and drops before she can even use her ultimate on herself.
I'm actually rewinding because I missed that fight entirely.
Another great charm by Ari. They managed to catch out Vayne. Oh my goodness. And that's all because of that ward that was down there. They saw where Team Purple was, and they've managed to catch them out. And they've done a great job just kind of stalling this game out. He engages 1v4 into Team Purple, but Leona's there now to help him out. They got cut out by Thresh's box though. He also gets burned down, and now they're all chasing after Leona, who re-engages now that Warwick is there, but Warwick is backing off, so a bit of a miscommunication there. She's still chasing after them. She's got balls, that Leona.
I think she
Super
realizes
tanky.
that she doesn't have a way to escape them.
So Team Blue, like Team Purple, they haven't thrown. They're making a few like bad choices, but Team Blue is doing a good job of like just finding these bad plays made by Team Purple and taking advantage of them now. One thing that they could have done is because all five of them are alive, whereas Yasuo and Leona are both dead, they could have gone for that dragon, or at least seen if it was still up. And that would have also helped even out the gold in between both of the teams, and kind of brought Team Blue back into the game.
So Warwick is able to take away the blue buff. It doesn't mean that much at this stage of the game, but it's always nice to do. He does I forgot to mention when he originally evolved it. He has his Feral Flare, but only 8 extra stacks on it, so not sure if he's fully clearing every jungle camp or not. At this stage of the game, though, honestly, they just need to end. They need to not get caught out like they have been and just push down mid or top or bot. It's all their own preference, really, but they need to just do it as a team.
That's just one of those things we saw earlier when they managed to get the ace on a Team Blue. This is why it would have been more helpful for them rather, to get a turret and also an inhibitor before getting Baron.
Because as soon as the
Vayne
inhib
getting
is...
caught out by the Thresh Hook, she gets taken super low but doesn't die. Sivir also getting taken fairly low.
Yeah, Vayne does have the lifesteal to get back into this. She needs to just take this jungle camp, or it looks like, yeah, she's going to split bot.
Kale getting caught out, getting dropped super low. The ultimate comes down from Jinx, takes down the rest of Team Blue super low as well. So Team Blue is going to have to back off. This should be the window that Team Purple needs to take down this turret. But Vayne isn't with them, so they have to be really careful.
Unfortunately, that Yasuo knock-up originally did not connect, but the Jinx ult just fantastic across everyone on the enemy team. Oh, Jinx is...
You see Ahri coming in super late. She manages to pick up the kill into Yasuo. Also, Sivir picks up the kill onto Leona. That was a great follow-up with her there. So yeah, a bit of a messy fight there, and I think a huge part of that was because Vayne just wasn't there for the fight initially. And I kind of see what they were doing there, is they knew that, like, if they kept pushing the mid lane, they risk getting caught out by a Thresh Hook or an RHR, which we saw happen to Vayne and Jinx a few times now. So I think what they're trying to do is split push the other lanes and kind of force Team Blue to separate themselves and break off to deal with one of the other lanes pushing.
Yeah, sorry, I'm fine with them doing a 1-4 split, but they need to be on the same page of whether they're trying to fight or whether they're taking towers.
That's the thing. And then what happened was when they saw that Vayne was bot lane, the fight broke out. And then Team Purple, they followed up onto the fight. It got super messy. And they got the turret, which was good, but it wasn't anywhere near as clean as it could have been.
I have a criticism
We
for
see
Renekton.
Cal, she sees Warwick. She gets caught out, though, by the Warwick ultimate. However, Ahri and Thresh are both there, as well as Sivir. Warwick, he gets exhausted, and he's taking a lot of damage, but... Okay, this is something that I noticed. So, Warwick's Blood Scent, if you're super low and the rest of your team is trying to chase him, and they're able to catch him, what you want to do is you want to back off to get out of range of his Blood Scent. He also, he places a really good windmill, so it's blocking a lot of skill shots. He uses his ultimate onto Team Blue. They're all caught out. They're taking a lot of damage. Vayne's follow-up. She takes down Thresh and Sivir. And now Kale goes down by Yasuo, and Leona manages to take down Kale. So it was a great fight for Team Purple. It started off with Warwick getting caught out, but he managed to get them all to chase and blow a lot of resources on trying to kill him. And then when the rest of Team Purple showed up, they just didn't have what they needed to deal with it, and they promptly lost that team fight.
Now, I do have 2 complaints there. First one being Renekton used his teleport to go bot to split. You use your teleport to come back from split pushing. That's its main use come mid to late game. So he wasn't able to rejoin any fights if he was needed. My second complaint is that I originally liked the Thresh exhaust that was gone on to Warwick. It was what secured them the kill very, very quickly, or relatively quickly for how tanky he is. But then, without having your exhaust up, you're not going to be able to deal with Yasuo. Exhaust is an incredibly powerful summoner skill right now to deal with burst champions and with like hyper carries like Vayne, like Yasuo, like Jinx. So using it on Warwick, well, yes, it got you a kill. It then does not allow you to team fight. So that was a large issue in that fight.
See some great words from Team Purple. They managed to catch out Renekton, who's taking a lot of damage right now from Jinx as well as the Warwick ultimate. We see her ult, and she manages to pick up the kill. That was a great shot. Team Blue, they actually managed to pick up the kill in Sylvain, but Yasuo ults in. They take a lot of damage. The Thresh box comes down, but it's not enough. Kill's ultimate comes down, keeps her alive for a few more seconds, but she finally falls to Yasuo.
Now this is the combo that we really need to see from Yasuo. There is no knockups for him on his team, so he needs to be landing his knockups, he needs to be ulting multiple people, and as soon as that happens, boom, you've won. Just end it, be done with it. And that's what we've been waiting on. He has landed it the last couple fights, but the fights earlier in the game that was sort of delaying us, it really just boiled down to him not being able to connect with his Qs. Looks like this should be the end of the game, unless they're going to toy with them, hopefully not. And GG, everyone.
Leona so close to dying to Ahri, but they managed to end the game before she got the final tick off the Ignite.
Okay, so do you want to go over final item builds?
I know nothing about the meta right now, so I have no clue.
Well, you're dead to me. So, the item builds that we see here. Before I do this, I'm going to... Oh, actually, I have to close that out. This is already done. I'm doing an RP giveaway.
Accidentally open up porn. That porn tab. Like, oh, I have to close this. I'm like, oh, Chris, you and your porn. It's probably some weird pictures from, like, Tumblr of, like, Teen Wolf or something knowing you.
It's always Teen Wolf. Teen Wolf is wonderful. Teen Wolf is life.
Actually, I'm debating on checking out that show just because, like, a straight friend of mine, like, he said that it's a great show, so I'm like, okay. If a heterosexual male can get into that show, but it also involves, like, a ton of hot guys, like, clearly
it's legitimately good.
Out.
Okay, sorry. So the giveaway is started now. Type !raffle to enter a chance to win a $10 RP card on North America. In the meantime, item builds. Kale has gone for her Feral Flare, Nashor's Tooth, Death Cap, and then she has a Hex Tech in there. I'm guessing she was building into a Ginsu's. I don't know. I mentioned earlier I haven't seen that many Kale jungles. Overall, I'm fine with the build. She had really, really good early influence on the game, but just wasn't able to scale through with her team into the late game. Sivir going for the Bloodthirster Rush. She has her Phantom Dancer, and it looks like she was going for an Infinity Edge after that. I'm fine with that, but my concern is no Last Whisper. Last Whisper is really what allows you to fight come mid and late game. You are dealing with a Warwick, you are dealing with a Leona. There's a lot of armor for you to be bypassing in that case. Ahri has her DFG Rush. She then has gone for a Crystal Scepter and a Death Cap. I would have liked to see an Hourglass before that. Just because there is so much hard engage coming from the enemy team. There's a Warwick ult, there's a Yasuo knock-up and ult, there's a Leona stun, there's Jinx traps, there's Vayne condemn. Like, there's a lot of ways that you could get caught out, and we saw her get caught out a number of times. So the Hourglass really could have had a bigger effect on that game, I feel. Thresh has gone for a Randuin's, a Crucible, Ninja Tabi. He eventually did swap out his Sweeping Lens, so good for him. Overall, his build is fine. I would have liked to see some more CDR, though. CDR on Thresh is super powerful because you can actually chain your hooks. If you're hitting every hook, I believe the cooldown on it is about 6 seconds, and it CCs for about 1.5 to 2 seconds. So you hook, wait till the last second, pull in, flay backwards, drop the box, then you land another hook, pull in, flay backwards. So that's why you want CDR on Thresh. I would have liked to see him finish up a Talisman of Ascension for that CDR, for the team movement speed buff, so they could catch up or retreat from fights they don't want, and just the general usefulness it would have given him. Renekton opted to go very, very tanky. Overall, his build was perfectly fine. I had no super large complaints with it. Warwick, pretty standard build. I would have liked to see a Frozen Heart. Again, CDR on him is powerful, more ults, and makes him super, super tanky.
I don't really know about the Frozen Heart on Renekton.
Sorry?
I don't know about the Frozen Heart on Renekton that someone just pointed out.
They're dealing with a Warwick, Jinx, Yasuo, and Vayne, all who auto-attack. Frozen Heart is pretty strong.
I would have preferred Randuin's on him just because he doesn't have mana. Like, I get that he would like CDR, but like...
No, I agree with that to an extent. I agree with that to an extent, but in that case, then Thresh should have had the Frozen Heart, and Renekton should have had the Randuin's. I agree with you, but someone on the team had to have a Frozen Heart.
Yes.
You are correct, though. It would have been better suited to build on Thresh instead. I also see same thing for Warwick. Not as many auto-attackers they're dealing with, but I mean, Kayle is an auto-attacker, Sivir is an auto-attacker, Renekton to an extent, Thresh is going to auto-attack a couple times. Like, it wouldn't have been quite as ideal, but it would have made Warwick super tanky, given him more CDR. I think it would have been a pretty good option. Jinx, having gone for Banshee's Veil, she still has her Phantom Dancer, Bloodthirster, Last Whisper, and then would have been a very late game Infinity Edge. I like that build. She did very, very well. Yasuo, pretty good item build. Yeah, no complaints there really. It's all really standard. I might have liked to see a Banshee's Veil to counter out the Ari charms that when they were hitting, they were really canceling him out of the game. But the option to go for Maw is perfectly fine. Leona, really pretty much standard build there. She has 40% CDR, crazy move speed. She was going towards Banshee's Veil to again cancel out some of the engages. Pretty good options there. Vayne, I would have liked to see a little bit... I don't know, maybe it's just I haven't seen Vayne top in a while, but I wouldn't have minded seeing a Static Shiv on her if she was going to play the split push role, and I wouldn't have minded seeing a Last Whisper if she was going to play the split push and dueling role. She's just very, very fragile for the role that she was trying to fulfill in this game. But overall, no huge complaints.